Welcome to your creativity lesson starring special guest Dakota, back by popular demand. So today we are going to make something called positivity rocks. And you might be asking, what is that? Let me tell you a story. So with all this time we've been spending inside, I've been taking lots of walks. And on one of my walks, I was walking around a lake and I found all of these little rocks that people had painted that said really positive, uplifting things. So a few of them I found, they had angels painted on them, and they said things like happiness or joy or smile. And then I took another walk at a different location and I found more rocks. One had a turtle on it and it said shallow, which I thought was kind of funny. So I thought it would be great for us to make some positivity rocks. You guys can think about what you'd like to put on yours. So my first step, I'm going to travel to the backyard and throughout the front yard to find some rocks that might be big enough to paint on. So let's get started.
You think it's go rock? Should I use this one? Dakota approves. Okay.
All right, so in my mom's front garden, let me show you guys. She has this little rock set up. She's being kind enough to let me grab a couple rocks from here. If you guys can't find any rocks in your own backyard, you could go for a walk around somewhere like a lake or some different walking trail, and you can gather rocks from there. Let's just be sure that we put them back where we found them. The whole point of this is to bring a little sunshine to somebody's day. So typically I wouldn't advise taking, nature type things from a walking trail, but I think they're rocks and I think it's already on a walking trail and I think it's a really thoughtful thing to do. So if you don't have rocks at your house, find a walking trail, gather some rocks, paint them, return them to the walking trail to bring some sunshine to somebody's day. Let's get started painting. All right, these are my rocks. I have a big one, medium-sized one, and this little guy. And before I start painting them, I just put them in the sink and I am gonna give them a quick rinse. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is my setup. So I have my, I have my rocks. I have bags laid out to cover my surface, keep it from getting dirty. You can use newspaper or magazines, maybe a towel if that is up your alley. I have some Sharpies to write on my rocks with. I actually started already, and honestly, painting my shape is really challenging. So I'm thinking the Sharpies might work better. And then I have a paper plate with some little gobs of paint I would like to use, paintbrushes, a cup of water to dip my dirty paintbrushes in, and then this paper towel to wipe them off and dry them off so I can use them again. So this is what you need. So I want to cover this whole thing, much like we do in wood shop. So I'm just going to dip in my paint and then spread it on my rock. I'm probably going to get paint on my fingers, but it will wash off and it will be okay. So I'm just covering it. And then just like we do in wood shop, I probably want the surface to dry. So I'm gonna leave that one, put it to the side, wait 5 minutes before I put any other designs on top of my pink. All right, so while I'm waiting for my little guy to dry, I'm gonna start on my big rock. But since this is going to be sitting in my mother's front yard, I want it to be something that she likes. So I am consulting her right now to decide what we should write on this rock. What would you guys put on your rock? Think about it. Alrighty, we are back.
Huh?
I'm talking to the camera.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. So my rocks took quite a bit longer to dry than I had anticipated. I know with wood shop it typically takes 5 minutes. These took about 20 minutes. Sorry if you hear that sound, it's the clock. So I would consider either using fewer coats of paint than I did, maybe just 1 or 2 coats, or maybe just making designs. Either way, now that they're all dry, I'm going to grab my markers and I'm gonna start decorating them. So I'm gonna start with this medium guy because he is the driest of the bunch. And my mom actually was brainstorming different words to put on there, and she used a thesaurus to look up similar words. So here's my list. We have promise, joy, believe, courage, happiness, faith. If you guys need any ideas, I think on this medium size guy, I'm gonna write joy and maybe put like a little flower or something. So here we go. I'm gonna write it in purple.
Dakota is being an excellent helper, as you can see. Oh, he got shy. He got shy. There he is. Thanks for the support, Bug.
Okay, so I finished my smaller 2 rocks. This little guy says believe, and I used a fine point Sharpie on this, which I found to be a little bit easier. Also, this has a really smooth surface, so I think it was just a little bit easier to write on in general. And then my medium size rock says joy, and then I put some pink polka dots around it. This one, I use the round tip, and it's hard to reach in when your rock has little divots, but we're gonna dive in on this big guy. I'm a little nervous. Luckily, if you mess up, you can always just paint over it and start over, but they don't have to be perfect. It's okay. Here we go. I'm gonna write the word promise on this somewhere. I'm thinking like right here, maybe? Right here? I don't know. Here we go. So right now, I'm just kind of doing an outline in the smaller, the thin pointed marker, and then maybe I'll go over with the thicker Sharpie. I think I'll just write it kind of small, and then maybe I'll put a design on the face of it. So I am just putting the finishing touches on the biggest one. I found it easier to write the word smaller, but you guys can make them however you want. I put a little heart here. I think I'm gonna do another one over there, and then I'm gonna be done, and we can go put our rocks somewhere where passerbyers will see them. Can you see? This is a little harder than I thought it would be, but I bet you guys can do it. All right, I'm done. There it is.
Okay guys, the last step, I'm gonna place my rocks where people, nearby passerbyers can see them. So I wanna put my big guy maybe propped up, so as people are walking they'll notice. And maybe I'll start it off with this little guy. This little guy maybe right here, kind of tucked away, almost like an Easter egg hunt, but then you find it and it's really sweet. And then for the last one, we can tuck him maybe a little further back. Maybe right here. Yay! Here's what it looks like. Dakota. Hey, buddy. So we're walking along. Oh no, it fell. We got one there. Dakota found it. And we keep walking. Oop. That guy. And then our last one's right over there. Yay.